So I know there's people out there that actually think, oh, Alice can kick Nemesis's ass. Because she's not a normal human being. Well, basically what I can say is, well, neither was Nemesis. You know what I mean? Um, well, apparently he wasn't a normal tyrant. He was basically more of an updated sort of version of a tyrant. Stronger, faster, more intelligent than the average tyrants. So people who think Alice can apparently whoop Nemesis's ass. Okay. I'm going to explain a lot of things that Nemesis has that she doesn't. Right? He was a champion boxer. Right? In the comics, he was actually a champion boxer. He was so famous for his boxing skills. He actually won the champion belt or something. He actually did win, which is why Umbrella came to him and wanted him to volunteer for an experiment. But the reason for that was because of his family getting in the way. That's why that boxer actually decided to take upon it in order to keep his family alive. Yeah, so the reason Nemesis is strong in his Nemesis form is because he's a boxer. He's strong. So imagine his enhanced strength with his punches. Now let's take it to the RE3 game. Now, when Nemesis punches a zombie, it knocks them down. It actually literally knocks them down. That's how strong Nemesis actually is. So, okay, so another thing I'm apparently going to say is Nemesis would have easily impaled Alice. Reasons? Nemesis can actually heal, mutate, and so on. He wouldn't easily, he would have easily whiplashed Alice. Easily. It was also the same as in he would have actually survived the plane, a helicopter that crashed onto him. He would have easily survived that. Reasons? He would have actually broke through it and healed. Because he has healing, like I mentioned. So it does take a time for him to heal, but he actually would heal. But if enough damage is inflicted onto Nemesis, he would mutate into his next form. Now, his next form has tentacles, more tentacles on his body. He's more destructive than he is in his first form. So apparently to show how good Nemesis actually is, he's actually fought against William Bergen. I'm not kidding. Without the tyrants to aid Nemesis, he wouldn't have actually been able to fight William. So that is how strong Nemesis actually is. He basically did fight against William in his first form. He took him out and whatever until, William mutated into a certain form he couldn't beat, so that's when the tyrants came in. Because the tyrants know that Nemesis is one of their own. So they protect him no matter what. So I'm going to show it right here. Right? So this is Nemesis. He's knocked back by William, which is here. That's one of his other forms, and whatever. Nemesis was easily beat his other form, but he was knocked back by this form. Because why? Nemesis is not strong enough, so the tyrants come in to aid him. So that would basically give enough time for Nemesis to, mutate, to kick his ass, which would basically have him mutate and probably kick his ass. You get what I mean now? Nemesis is very, very strong. So yeah, when he came in to attack Nemesis, he blocked William Bergen's attack because they know Nemesis is like family to them. Even though Nemesis doesn't care for the tyrants, Mr. X actually do. I call them all Mr. X because, they're all similar. They have intelligence. They know that's like family. They know that's one of their family. And they'll do whatever it takes to take him out, even if it means helping their own friend, Nemesis. So, yeah, so apparently, so those Alice people again, I mean, do you get what I mean now? Basically, even though the tyrants don't have healing, he does. If he gets knocked back, he needs time to heal. So the healing process apparently allows him to heal no matter how much damage he takes. So taking damage allows him to mutate. If you get what I mean. So like he does actually heal. Another thing I'm gonna say is, when Nemesis fought against Jill, he did get stabbed in the eye, losing his perception. Focusing on one eye, which is extremely good for Nemesis because he is highly intelligent. He's more intelligent than the tyrants because he has that more intelligence than them. He has the free will, the free will to think on what's on his mind. He knows what his objective is, and he'll do what he can to, prevent Umbrella from killing his own family. That's why he does it. And that's why he went after Stars, because that's the reason. And also, Nemesis actually has flashbacks in the comics. He actually does have sympathy, in some sort of way. So now let's imagine the obvious, right? Say for example, Nemesis did actually bring out his tentacle on Alice. He would have poisoned her easily. He would have hurt her badly, even if it meant he was fighting dirty. Now, Nemesis doesn't play by the rules sometimes. You know what I mean? He basically, when it comes to, like, say, punching Alice, he can easily outsmart Alice by using his tentacle or whatever to apparently allow Alice to trip a bunch of times because she's hopeless against Nemesis. Now let's basically also state from the games that survivors with guns have had a hard time trying to survive against Nemesis, right? Even if it meant trying to hit Nemesis. Now, why do you think they never use fists? Because guns are stronger. They do more damage to Nemesis. So that is the reason nobody uses guns against him, because Nemesis is that strong, he can actually withstand fireproof damage. And that is the reason why nobody can actually hurt him that much. So you get what I mean now. He's that strong in general. Yeah, so apparently again, Nemesis is in his second form here. He couldn't beat this version of Tyrant. I mean, William Bergen. Yeah. He couldn't beat this version of William Bergen. This is the one where he has the 4 arms. He couldn't beat that version of him because he was too strong for Nemesis. That's why. He was able to fight his first form, though. Able to kick his first form's ass and whatever. The only reason he was struggling is because he was getting his ass kicked by this form. So that's why the Tyrants backed him up. So you get what I mean now? Basically, the Tyrants and Nemesis are actually more of like, super experiments, if you get what I mean. Alice wouldn't have been able to kick their ass because they're stronger, they have stronger punches, and Nemesis is actually more of an upgrade from Tyrant. A stronger version of a Tyrant, able to think on their own. Kind of like, like of Utanak in RE6. That was smart as well. He was intelligent but blind. He was like a version of Nemesis, but stronger, but slower. You get what I mean now? But the only thing, he wasn't able to mutate like Nemesis was. Something like that. When you think about it. The thing is with Nemesis, he has a lot of strength. No matter how many times he mutates, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Which is why his name is apparently a description of an alien. Yeah, or for another meaning, it also means enemy. Yeah, Nemesis is a word for enemy, because that's what Nemesis means. Enemy. An enemy of your allies. An enemy of you. That's what Nemesis actually means. He's basically a reckon to be taken for. Yeah. So again, does anyone see this fight? Yeah, something that basically could have been in a movie. Nemesis struggling to fight William. William would have been perfect in a movie. Alongside some tyrants. Now imagine that in live action form, where Nemesis is actually fighting and whatever, and you have certain characters crossing paths a couple of times, like you have Carlos and such, and then you probably have some Resident Evil characters from like 2 passing by, and they're actually seeing the fight occur between all these tyrants. Now, imagine seeing something like that in Raccoon City. So, get the point now? So, yeah, so there's proof right there. It's an actual comic. It's a real comic. So that is the best thing you're gonna get from Nemesis. The best sort of fights that you can get from Nemesis, and proving how strong Nemesis actually is. This is why he's so strong, and he's actually immune to toxin because he already is toxin. He's poisonous. So whoever he injects gets his virus, just like he injected Jill. Jill tried to fight him back, but she got infected, right? And apparently even now she still has that virus in her. Just like Sherry has the G virus in her. She still has it. Sherry still has the G virus in her, which would make her stronger than Jill in a couple of ways, because even though Jill has Nemesis's virus, she's actually still weaker. You know what I mean? Do you get what I mean now? So whoever actually has the William virus is usually stronger than the Nemesis virus. So it makes them a lot stronger in multiple ways than one. But the only difference is now Sherry has the healing now. Which I'm basically assuming they took healing methods from Nemesis's side, because Nemesis had the healing. So I would explain why Sherry got the healing in 6. So then, she would be able to heal as well. So when you basically understand it, William, so like I said before, William can beat Nemesis's ass, but Nemesis and the Tyrants can easily beat humans' asses. Even though humans can basically be more of a chance at beating the Mr. X, or say Tyrants, as in the normal Tyrants, like these. Now, normal characters can beat these characters. Yes, because they can be shot and killed. Even if they go into Super Tyrants, they can easily be killed. So Nemesis can easily beat a human being. Easily. No matter how many times, especially against Jill. That's why he never stopped, ever. Never stopped until a certain gun actually intended to liberate him. And even after that in the R3 game, he was still standing. as a slug until Jill pulled the final trigger to end him. So in a way, he was sort of still alive. But even though there's rumors that he probably was still alive, and bit of the scraps of his remains were put into Utenak years later. So there's William, right? Again, William kicking the ass out of Nemesis, right? The tyrants defending against it because they're all together, like an army. So you can clearly see that the tyrants will not hold back. So yeah, so again, in a way, the tyrants have knowledge. They have intelligence. Because they're different than the normal tyrants. They're more of like undercover Mr. X tyrants. So they know what to do and what their program is. So they both have different tasks. Nemesis is made to hunt down stars, while the tyrants are made to kill anyone in the city. But they usually fail, which is why Nemesis is actually successful with his job, because he actually kills a number of people. He kills a lot of people. He killed Miguel, which was one. He killed Brad. Brad was apparently near the station. He actually managed to kill him because he knows the targets he's hunting down, and he will not stop until he actually gets the kills. Because again, it's all because of his family in danger. That's why Nemesis does it. But when he mutated, he does lose it. Unfortunately, he does lose it. He does get a bit slower. But but he is more stronger as he mutates. But yeah, so no matter what the fight is with William versus Nemesis, William would probably still kick Nemesis's ass regardless, no matter how many times they mutate. Which is shown in the comic right here. Yeah, Nemesis was easily to put him out of his form, his other state of form, his first form. So they kept basically going between forms, kicking each other's ass. So that's the proof that Alice would not be able to fight against either one of them because they're too strong. I mean, Alice would have been able to fight against the tyrants, but not against Nemesis or William Bergen, for that matter. They are too strong. The only thing you'd be able to shoot back is guns. That's it. Just guns and no fist punches. Because the fist punches just don't make sense in my because in Resident Evil Apocalypse, it just didn't make sense at all. Nemesis getting impaled and unable to come out of it, that made no freaking sense. Because knowing Nemesis, if he was impaled like that, he would have used his tentacle to whiplash it back and got out of there easily. And if he was smashed by a helicopter or whatever, he would have easily got out of there. He would have easily got out of that area. He's that strong. Because he's like a superhuman when you think about it. So yeah. So apparently that's all I gotta say about the matter. I hope this gets round to most people. That apparently see why Nemesis actually would have kicked Alice's ass regardless. Because he has fought other monsters like him before. So that is why he'd be able to beat any human. Yeah. And another thing, Alice had no powers in Apocalypse. She had no powers at all. Which proves why she would have got her ass kicked. You get me now? So I hope that gets to most anti-Alice fans out there. Most Alice fans out there. That'll get through to their heads on why this is the case. So I hope you know now. Basically from the image that I show and what I've explained so far. So yeah.